Yeah, so I can fill you in on all that. And first of all, I appreciate you what you're doing. My brother, he posts some nonsense, and it's all for clicks, like a lot of these people do. They try to get they try to get attention that way. And I've occasionally talked to him in the past because of my career, and basically just trying to keep me separated from all that. And then my wife, I think you had emailed her as well. She works for FEMA. So we're both having a lot of fun these days, let me tell you. And so the funny thing is I don't even work for the Weather Service anymore. I left about 5 years ago. I work for the Federal Aviation Administration now. But I do oversee a lot of the weather radar programs. So it's even more, and so I talked to Brian. Long story short, I talked to Brian right after I got the message from you, and I even I said, look, I don't know who this is who's texting me, but everything they're sending me is correct, this is a problem. And he immediately apologized. I'm sorry, and he doesn't even really understand what I do in my career. We don't live near each other. We communicate regularly, but it's not like he's keenly aware of what I do. So, once I told him, he's like, I'm sorry. He apologized immediately. I think he already started to take a lot of that content down, and said he was going to do that. And so so we at least had that conversation where, you can't do this stuff. So because of me, you can't do it because it's wrong, but you especially can't do it because of me,
Guys, not just Brian, but there's all crops of them that do this and they exploit these, and they don't know what they're looking at. They're just telling people what they think they are, and people believe them. And then there's this guy in Oklahoma you've probably heard about, Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer.
I have, yeah.
Well, you guys probably got a memo or something. He it led to some guy in Oklahoma trying to sabotage or vandalize the News 9 radar there. And
oh, really? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just happened earlier this week. And they arrested the guy, so they found him, caught him on camera. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This Arthur Meyer.
And that's the problem when you try to incite stuff. In Brian's case, he started out. If you go back, you've probably seen this. If you go back, a lot of it was like UFO stuff and like kind of simple. But I agree where it has kind of taken, it's taken a wrong turn. And that's what I even try to explain to him. I'm like, don't pick these events where, frankly, you got a bunch of dead kids, and it's nothing you're saying is true, and there's no evidence at all behind any of this, The one thing that got me is there was a picture of the radar from Houston, and it had these little green beam blockage, coming out of it, and he had said, or he alluded fact that that's how the storms were, made to stay stationary. Oh, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me,
Or the anomalous propaganda, the ground clutter around it. People see that. And they're being zapped with,
Right.
And it's just the atmosphere's changed. It goes nighttime. I mean, all of this.
And especially when it comes to, the agencies that I work very closely with who already, they've already got this false optic, that we're involved in weather modification, which we all know is not true. But we've also, half the country believes the messaging that comes out that says, NOAA and the Weather Service is bloated and over, all these other things that you hear. And then you feed this information to people, and they believe it instantly because it matches that narrative. Yeah, and it's tough. We deal with this every single day.
Wow, it's funny. And
that's what my wife and I joke. My wife's a meteorologist by trade, but she's not working in that field now. But we both joke that if we could do weather modification, we would not be working where we're working. Let me tell you, we'd be in a much bigger house on an island somewhere, you know?
Yeah. And it's always about the intent. Why do they think it's always the destructive stuff? Why, if we could modify the weather, why couldn't we make it nice and stop the storm?
Exactly. And there are legitimate, documented, beneficial weather modification techniques. I used to work in Salt Lake City, and it's very prone to fog in the winter because you get a lot of pollution and it's cold. And they would seed the fog to dissipate it so that airplanes could take off. And it was very simple. It was very localized, and there was really no adverse impact to it other than the fact that it would clear the fog out so that the airport could operate. But, so there is good things, that can come from it. But, yeah, all the conspiracy stuff is wild.
It's crazy right now.
It is, yeah. But like I said, I appreciate, what you're doing and for reaching out and, and especially looking out for the fact that, my career is in this field. And, so thank you.
Well, hey, I appreciate you having this discussion. It was, I wish we had been done earlier. It's grown tremendously in the last year almost after Helene.
Right.
And just really capitalizes on every single thing you see on there, on radars now. And people are all just falling for it. So I'm glad we had this talk, and I'm glad you talked with him, about it. And, I hope to see some change, in his channel. If you're going to keep doing it, I suppose, I would love to see, I would love to see him admit it to his followers, to tell the truth, to set the record straight and then go on from there. If he really wants to keep doing what he's doing. I know he loves doing this content creation stuff, and, but, when it's affecting your family and people's livelihoods, and I appreciate you and your wife's work that you guys do at the National Weather Service and FEMA. That you guys, I say this to people all the time, like meteorologists they're like first responders. We have
absolutely, yep. Well, very good, yeah, and I'll continue to have it. I don't really follow him online, funny enough, because I want to keep myself separated from him, but there's ways I can see what he's doing, and like I said, we have an open, honest relationship. I'm hoping that me talking to him and then keeping up with him will kind of mitigate this, so I will do that for sure.
Sounds great.
Okay, very good.
It's been a pleasure talking with you, and thank you for this time.
Yep, thank you too. Stay cool, and hopefully we'll catch up again sometime on a better note. So.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.